What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over 3 secrets to burn stubborn fat faster. People have stubborn fat in all kinds of places, but the most common spots are the belly, the thighs, the bat wings, and the love handles. Even though stubborn fat is a little harder to get rid of, you're going to be more than prepared to deal with all your stubborn fat after watching this video. First, let me just clarify that we can't target fat burn. And no, this is not one of the secrets because most people already know this. You can't choose a particular section or area of your body that you want to burn fat from, and you can't target it. So even though you might have stubborn belly fat, there's no way to do certain exercises that will decrease just your belly fat. Fat loss happens across our whole body. So while you're burning fat from your belly, you're also going to be burning fat from your toes, your hands, your face, your whole body. So when we're looking for a way to burn fat faster from a particular area of the body, we're really looking for a way to burn fat faster across the whole body in general. The first way that we're going to be able to do this is by depleting our gas tank and keeping that gas tank really low. So your body has a gas tank, and instead of running off of gas, it runs off of mostly glycogen. Most people think that glycogen only comes from carbs, but the truth is that protein can also very easily be converted to glucose and stored away for later use. When your gas tank is full of glycogen, your body will use the glycogen and spare your fat cells whenever it needs energy. Whether that be energy for going about your regular day or energy for completing your workout, either way, your body is going to prefer to use glucose. The only way that we're going to get access to the fat cells is after the glycogen stores have already been depleted. So if we can deplete the glycogen stores and keep them depleted, we can speed up the fat loss process. So how do we deplete glycogen? Well, one very simple way is by not consuming too much glycogen to begin with. And again, protein, don't forget, can be converted into glycogen. So I'm not necessarily advocating a low-carb diet here because low-carb diets are not the only way to burn through your glycogen stores and start burning fat. Low-carb diets are, however, the fastest way to deplete that gas tank because during a low-carb diet, protein and amino acids won't give you enough glucose to refill that tank. Once again though, keeping carbs low is not the only way to do this. You can burn fat a number of different ways, but the key is to maintain a negative calorie balance in order to use all the stored glucose and switch over to burning that stubborn fat. Believe it or not, you can even do a pure carb diet where you have only carbohydrates and still burn through all the glycogen just by maintaining a large enough calorie deficit. I know this because I've done it on myself before, and I have a whole video about it. So, first of all, you have to maintain a calorie deficit. Second of all, you should incorporate some heavy weight training into your program. There is no better way to burn glucose than through anaerobic training. Anaerobic training involves exercises that require you to use primarily glycogen rather than oxygen for energy. Almost all weight training, as long as the weight is heavy enough, will be considered anaerobic in nature and will help you deplete your glycogen stores faster. I recommend a bare minimum of 3 days a week of weight training, but with 5 days a week of weight training, you're obviously going to burn through a lot more of that glucose faster. So if your schedule allows you, try to do weight training more frequently. Remember, once that glucose is out of the way, that's when you have direct access to your fat stores. That's actually why ketogenic diets work so well for fat loss. They actually switch your body's main source of fuel from glycogen over to ketones that come from fat. The second thing that you want to do is fast. This is another excellent way to decrease glucose in your body and empty out the gas tank. But that's not the only reason why fasting is so good for fat loss. Insulin is your fat storage hormone. To make it really simple, when your insulin levels are high, it's virtually impossible to burn fat. When insulin and blood sugar levels are low, glucagon is released to draw energy from your cells. So now instead of shuttling glucose into your cells with insulin, glucagon will pull it from your cells. Glucagon and insulin are opposites, and you're really only going to get one or the other. If insulin is high, glucagon is naturally low, and if glucagon is high, insulin is naturally low. Again, to burn fat, we want to try to keep our insulin levels low, and insulin levels don't get much lower than when we're going to be fasting. The point is that fasting is one of the fastest and the best ways to keep your insulin levels really low. Also, when you fast, usually it's a lot easier to maintain a calorie deficit throughout the day because you're not eating calories for a whole portion of the day. Unless you're the type of person that overeats big time when you're hungry, then that could be a problem. Fasting should help you maintain a calorie deficit ultimately helping you empty that gas tank faster. The last thing you can do for that stubborn belly fat is increase muscle mass. You might be thinking, how is muscle mass going to help me burn more stubborn fat? Well, in humans, glycogen is made and stored mostly in the cells of your liver and your body's muscle tissue. Even though you can't really change the amount of glycogen that you're going to be storing in your liver, you can increase the amount that you store in your muscles by building more muscle. There's something that you might have heard of known as spillover. When you overfill your gas tank with too much glucose and there's no more room to store the glucose in your liver and your skeletal muscle tissue, the result is spillover. In this process, insulin is used to store the extra glucose into your fat cells. By having more muscle mass, your body will be able to use more glucose. That goes without mentioning the fact that you're going to be emptying and refilling that glucose all the time by working out and then eating. People that don't do weight training, or even worse, people that don't work out at all, they're never emptying out that gas tank. They just keep filling it up. What happens when you keep filling an already full gas tank? Spillover. That spillover will just lead to a vicious cycle of regaining that stubborn fat. So building more muscle mass will increase the amount of glucose that your muscles can use, and the weight training that you're going to be doing to build up that muscle mass will constantly be depleting that gas tank, allowing you to burn stubborn fat as long as your diet isn't high in glucose that you're using to refill that tank. So again, just to recap, number one, you want to empty out your gas tank by maintaining a calorie deficit and by doing a weight training program consistently. Number two, you want to fast in order to drop insulin levels to their lowest point to allow your body to draw energy from fat stores using glucagon. And the third tip is to increase muscle mass throughout your body so you can avoid spillover. That's it, guys. I really hope this video has helped you out. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to this channel and visit my website, gravitytransformation.com, where you get much more than just another workout and diet plan. See you guys soon.